Food and ranking. Ranking is very important in horses. They are very high social animals, and in the social way of living, they have. Poor Timor, he's getting a little bit upset. In their own life, they have a ranking, and everybody knows their position. They also know the position of somebody else. On my place, it might be obvious. I don't have a head here. Who is the highest in the ranking? That's me. I am the. I call myself sometimes the guard of freedom. Freedom to me is not only in the environment. For some people, it's in the environment, and many people leave their horses outside on a very small field and say, "My horse lives in nature." Well, he doesn't live in nature. He lives outside on a small stamp of. Well, sometimes there is grass, but in our country, most of the time it's mud. But that's another subject. Freedom is in the head, and freedom is to me to be yourself wherever you are, so you can easily adapt on new situations. These two boys are together for some time, and Tibor is 5 years old, and the grey one is 7 years old. They are friends, and I want to show you with this movie how they eat. Tibor had a friend before, also a grey horse, also Pura Raza Española. And they were able to eat together. This is stupid, almost stupid. Their relationship made it possible they could eat together out of the same food bucket. With this horse, it's a little bit different. This horse is weaker. This horse is mentally a lot weaker than the other one. And Tibor knows. And Tibor is, of course, he's all, well, this is something I learned him from the high school jumps. Tibor is not very big, but you will see, or you have already seen it, it's about the intention. How strong do you feel yourself? How free are you to be yourself and to say to this guy, this grey one, who's a lot taller than Tibor, get out of here. I want this food. Why do horses get upset when we feed food in a bucket, even though they have some space? Because they like the food, and it's our way of giving food. In our country, we have a lot of problems with food because we concentrate it on one moment, and so all the horses get upset. It always gives. It always gives cortisol. It gives the horse stress because they're eating. If you've seen the other two movies, you have seen the first one where Tibor didn't give the grey one any space, and you might also have seen the one where I interrupted, where I said, "Get out," and I wanted the grey one to grow stronger. That's my purpose with the grey one. There's another interesting thing on this movie you might not have noticed, or you might have seen but you didn't notice. That's the small dog, Mrs. Pebbles. She is the smallest one of these three actors. She's 28 centimeters and she is a terrier. She is only around when there is peace and calmness, when there is kindness. If you look at this, you say, well, this is not kindness. Well, Tibor now says, get out. There is. In a way, there is. They are not really meaning, they are not upsetting, they are upsetting each other, but they are not trying to hurt the other one. They are just fighting a little bit, struggling a little bit over the food. And so Mrs. Pebbles, this small dog of 28 centimeters, can stay there because she didn't read any book, she didn't read anything, but she knows that there is not a real bad situation going on, that these horses are struggling and all she has to do is take care of herself, but she stays around. If these horses were really fighting, and it might seem to you like fighting, she wouldn't be there. So that's also a very interesting thing, to look at the other animals around. Of course, these horses and his little small dog are together and they form a group. So everybody knows their position, but they're also interaction. They're interacting with each other. And I noticed that these dogs, we have a German Shepherd too, are very specialized in reading these emotions. How do they do that? I think that many people who don't understand emotions, and we're a little bit lost of our own emotions, um, will only see the behavior itself and will interpret the behavior by human insights. Animals don't read anything, they just are together and they study. This little dog studied the horses. She knows perfectly well what the situation is. Now she's. Well, there was quite a high jump, wasn't it? It's all bluff, there's no serious injury. You can see that they don't really hurt, they are just bluffing to each other. But they also walk away, and that's what the small dog also did just a few seconds before. And she has a point there because she's too small. She cannot be part of this struggle. My goal is for the grey one to be more self-assured, and for the Tibor, well, Tibor doesn't have any issues, no problems, no nothing. But I do want Tibor to know his ranking, his position, and I want them to be able to eat together without too much stress, because stress is never good. A little bit struggle is not really bad, but too much stress is not good. You see, it's bluff, and the one who is angry, in this case the grey one, he's insecure, that's why he does this. The one who's angry is most of the time saying, I can do this or I can do that, but they don't really hurt each other. And that's very important to see. Can you do this with every horse? Please, no, don't. Don't do this, because horses who don't know each other and who are not friends, these two are friends, will definitely hurt each other on the most terrible ways, and they will, well, somebody get injured. Yeah, these two horses played, so they are friends. And it took me quite a long time before I put them together. That's not only because these two were not real friends, but it was also another horse who claimed this little guy. So don't try this with every horse. This is something I set up. There's a chicken destroying my nice movie. This is something I set up, and I have a goal with it. There's a purpose and there are reasons, because I wanted the grey one to get higher in his ranking. And now you see the piece. Now you can see, at last, it took some time. It took 3 days. Now you can see that they make it possible. It's also because they both have their mouth filled. That also helps. When they have a full mouth, they don't have to struggle so much. When they're very hungry, they will get more upset to get more food. Food and water are the first reasons for horses to be curious and to live. They need it. If they don't get water, they die. If they don't get food, they die too. So it's a first need. So they're always focused on food. That's what people need use in training. Yeah? You use food, sometimes even water. And I also had advices of people, don't give him water and let him come for the water, so he will come to you. Those methods to me those are awful. I don't use these methods. I like to use the instinct of these two horses, and I like to look at this. And I like to bring them together. I like to bring them together like friends, like pretty normal herd behavior. When they're not fighting, I don't do anything, and that's my position. My position is very honest, and I noticed that if you are honest and you do only what's best for the horses, well, it's amazing how it works, but you get it back, and you will see it right away on your horses. That's where my phrase comes from, and it's not mine. Somebody else said it, I don't know. I don't remember who. Show me your horse, and I will tell you who you are. And that's so true, because a horse is mirroring our own behavior. Are you honest? Do you hit? Are you nervous? Are you angry? Are you calm? All those special skills of human you will see back in horses. So this is guarding, this is leading, this is sort of leadership, and I'm not interfering now, because now I see they're eating calmly and they're doing their job very well. And they're also smart, because the grey one knows, he sees when the bucket is almost empty, And you will see in a moment when it's empty that the grey one doesn't fight anymore. They're just eating the rests of it. And you see his calm face, and you will see that he can't let it to. This is bluff. He can't, and he will walk away and he will start eating his hay. On his tail, I still see a little bit tension. He's not very self-assured, so that takes more time. But I'm very sure that this is a way of putting horses together and making them self-assured, because I am in charge and I'm there. I'm standing behind the camera, so they can trust me. And they can trust on themselves. And that's self-confidence. And that's the most special gift you can give animals in captivity.